3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday. This is the Pro Line with Jim Fight. I'm Dave Token. Plenty to talk about. Highlights and promos for ourselves. And we're going to talk about some NFL and college football and also get you a free college basketball play. We didn't do a podcast yesterday about the Winnipeg came through as a free play on Monday in the NHL. We'll have one in college basketball. Tonight, college basketball for me right now, actually anything college is going well. I was 5-0 on the weekend in college football. And last night, 4-0 in college basketball. Purdue was a little bit fortunate, but hey, I'll take it. The other three plays were Western Michigan, South Dakota State, and Iona. 3 dogs. They all won outright, including South Dakota State at plus 10.5. So it's really good right now, Jim. And I've got 2 plays up for tonight, both in college. I think they're both going to be blowouts. These are favorites this time, not dogs. And you can get both plays for only $40 at gymfights.com. They're on various websites, but you'll be paying less if you buy them both at gymfights.com. So check them out right now. I expect to win these games tonight by good margins. Tim, I know you're rolling as well.
Well, I'm not as red hot as you are, Dave. I mean, you're absolutely smoking Dave Kochen is back. And you're doing really well. I'm telling you, everybody go on there and go to VegasSportsmasters.com or JimFeist.com and get those 2 plays right now. $40. Dave is absolutely red hot in college hoops and college football, and we got a big weekend of college football with all the conference championship games, Dave, and that's super exciting. And I know you have plays up for that as well.
Actually, although the one I've got online is not one of the marquee games, but believe me, it's the best play on the board, in my opinion, and everybody should grab that one. That's online as well at gymplace.com, and so check it out right now.
Dave, I'd like to bring up this Eli Manning benching in New York. I'm kind of loyal to people, and Eli has done a hell of a job there. I know he's been well paid for it, so there's no boo-hooing for him. But the fact is, Eli is not the problem in New York. I mean, they have a terrible offensive line and running game. They've lost the wide receivers to injuries. Their defense has been subject to criticism. When you got Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo, those are the guys that should be fired. Eli Manning should not be benched, and you should not be, in any way, shape, or form, using this backup quarterback that was a bust with the Jets. This is absolutely horrendous. It's a disgrace. It's disrespectful to Eli. It's disrespectful to every New York Giant fan, every NFL fan. In my opinion, you are not going to fix your season with Geno Smith. You're not going to. It's absolutely...
Well, you mentioned the key word, and I'm not saying this I don't want anybody to misconstrue this as a gambling reference, but if they're fixing to lose the rest of their games, this is the right move. And I got to tell you, they had I'm not going to say it's a winnable game. Well, yeah, it was a winnable game this week. It's not like Oakland is in any great shape right now. I wrote this a couple weeks ago in my blog because I had a sense this was coming, but not in the fashion it did. I speculated that the Giants might try to find a scapegoat for what's taken place, and Eli Manning would end up being the scapegoat. But my thought was they could. Well, I'm not saying that everybody would buy into it, but at least if they'd gone and said, we want to take a long look at Davis Webb because we think he's got a chance to be a good quarterback, and we've got to get him on the field to see, how he performs in real game situations. Well, all right. I mean, it's not perfect. I think it would still be an insult to Eli, but at least I could buy that line of thinking because Eli's not getting any younger, and eventually they're going to have to change quarterback. So take a look at Davis Webb. But Geno Smith sucks. He can't play in this league. There's 2 things on Geno Smith that are, at this point, documented. One is that as soon as he makes a mistake, he's fine until he makes a mistake, and as soon as he does, he melts down. The second thing is, this goes back to his draft year, coming out of West Virginia. There were a lot of quarterback gurus, I call them that because they're really experts on quarterbacks, who had real doubts about Smith coming out of West Virginia because he wasn't good at reading defenses. And if you can't read defenses at the college level, how the hell are you going to read them in the NFL? So, I know he's a first-round draft pick, but there were an ample number of QB gurus who didn't think he was a first-round draft choice material, and it turned out they were right. This is one of the most bizarre moves I've ever seen, and the only thing I can look at this and say is they're trying to lose football games for a better draft choice. Because Manning certainly gives them less of a chance to lose than Geno Smith. Geno Smith is, I actually was considering the Giants this weekend getting a touchdown. I don't think I would have played it because I'm trying to avoid playing bad teams, but I wasn't going to play Oakland.
And now you got the Oakland Raiders 9, 9.5, and 10 because of this quarterback change.
Off the game, I suppose, but there's no way I play the Giants now.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody out there right now that one thing, this is a East Coast to West Coast trip. The Oakland Raiders are in a battle with Kansas City and the Chargers for winning the division, their division, AFC West, or getting a wild card. Now, as remote as that may be in somebody's mind, they're still believing they can do it. And they may be able to because there's enough games left to do that. However, the Giant locker room is as pissed off as I have ever seen them.
I bet they are.
And I do not think these Giant players are going to put any extra effort into what they're doing this week. This is a disgrace. This man has been there since 2004. He's brought them 2 Super Bowls. Now, I'm not saying you can't change quarterbacks, but Dave pointed out, if you're doing it for the purpose of winning games or seeing what you... But they're throwing this guy under the bus, and here's the reason they're throwing him under the bus. Okay, you're going to get draft choices. You're doing 9, for God's sake, so you're not going anywhere. But Eli cannot be thrown under the bus. It's disgraceful, disrespectful to him. But Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo are terrible at their jobs. And they should have been fired. Well, McAdoo should have never been hired. And Jerry Reese should have been fired 2 years ago.
Jim, I got to interrupt for a second because the irony here is that the guy who stumped poor McAdoo to be head coach, the guy who really spoke up for him, was Eli Manning.
Wow, I didn't know that. It's been a terrible situation there. I don't know if it's possible. I don't think so because you have deadlines and stuff for trades. I would love to see Eli go to Jacksonville, back with Tom Coughlin. If Eli was with Jacksonville right now, they'd be a real contender with their defense and their running game. They would be a serious player in this playoff run coming up. But I don't know if that's even possible. But
yeah, well, we'll close that subject with this. If you thought that replacing Tom Coughlin with Ben McAdoo was bad, replacing Eli Manning with Geno Smith is just as bad as it turns out. It's just crazy.
That's amazing.
College football.
Yeah.
Playoff games coming up this weekend, Jim. We're seeing some line movement in several of these games.
Yeah, we have college football. Coming up, we got USC up to 4, Florida Atlantic up to 11, Toledo is up to 21.5, Boise down to 8.5, Ohio State up to 7, and the only sharp move, Dave, is Fresno so far. So
yeah, I think they'll get more sharp action as we get closer to games. I think Georgia. I think Georgia's going to end up getting some sharp money as we get toward the weekend, and I expect that a couple of the bigger favorites will as well. I know the sharp play is usually sort of more of being an underdog, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. I do think. I think this is just my guess, but I think you're going to see some sharp money come in on Memphis as a dog against Central Florida. But I think Florida Atlantic and Toledo are going to get. I think those lines are going to continue to go up, and I think the pros are going to be on those two favorites. I don't know what to think of Ohio State and Wisconsin as far as the line movement goes. I've got some opinions on the game. I'll hold off on that, but I can't get a good grip of a good grasp on where the sharp money is going to show, if it shows at all in this game. You know, some games don't attract sharp money at all. And this might end up being just a public betting game with the public probably on Ohio State. It looks as though, you know, because that 7 sitting out there, and unless the sharps are waiting for a 7.5, which I don't think they're going to get, maybe they will on game day. But that's the only thing I can come up with as far as betting patterns in that game, is that the pros are waiting for a 7.5, and then they'll buy back Wisconsin. Otherwise, it looks like they might sit it out.
Well, I do agree. I think they're waiting for the number. You know, the pros are number players mostly anyway, so they're looking for value in the number, and I do agree. You know, we got some big games coming up in NFL this week, marquee games.
Yep.
I mean, Minnesota-Atlanta is a big game. And, of course, you have the game with the Carolina and the Saints. That's another huge game. And then the Sunday night game is really interesting. Philadelphia, who a lot of people think is the #1 team in football, right next to the Patriots and maybe right next to the Steelers, but with a 10-1 record and the way they're beating the spread every week by a ton of points, they're outplaying the number, outpacing the oddsmaker by a lot. They're actually a 6-point favorite at Seattle. No one's a 6-point favorite at Seattle. I realize this. Seattle doesn't have their full defensive complement there anymore, but that's a tough team to beat, even without those great defensive players. But the line is reflecting the fact that those guys are out. But Seattle is still dangerous, and by the time game time comes along, you never know what the weather's going to be there.
Yeah, in the next 2 weeks, look, the Eagles have been the best team in the regular season. That's not even a debate at this point. They've been fantastic. It doesn't mean they're the best team because the Patriots play their best ball when it matters the most. And I think that's something you got to factor in. But these next 2 weeks are a little bit of a final game for Philadelphia as far as wrapping up the #1 seed and establishing themselves as a team to beat in the NFC come playoff time, because they've got Seattle. And like you said, I know the Seahawks are short-handed, but you know they're going to be geared up for this game at home. That crowd will be insane. And then they're going to come right back and play the Rams the next week. And boy, I was really impressed with the Rams on Sunday in their victory against the Saints. I thought that was I thought they were really outstanding. I watched that game, and no beats about it. I was on the wrong side of New Orleans. The Rams, I know it was only a 6-point final margin, but it was more than that if you watched the game. The Rams were in control.
Yeah, well, they were. You know, the argument then with the Saints, and I use the Saints as well, is probably wrong, because the Saints were kind of in a flat spot. They had the big comeback against Washington, and then they have back-to-back division games starting this week with Carolina that might have been a flat spot for them, and they didn't play the way they had been playing. But the Rams have been playing well all year. Yeah, granted, they might have a soft schedule here and there, but they went to Minnesota and stubbed their toe. But Minnesota is one of the top defensive teams in the league, so there's no shame in that game. But you know, Seattle is fighting the Rams for the division, and if you don't win the division, then you're going into the wild card mix, and there's a lot of NFC teams that are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing in the AFC. The AFC is pretty finite. You got two really good teams in Pittsburgh and the Patriots, and the other teams are not all that great. But the NFC is very deep.
I'm going to throw another team into the mix, because they're playing really good football right now, and I think they're going to end up winning their division. And they could be a dangerous team. That's the Chargers. Yeah. And they're playing really good ball right now.
Well, I totally agree. I think the Chargers are the favorite right now in my mind to win the AFC West, because you're fighting with Oakland and Kansas City, the only two teams that they have to beat to get there. Kansas City has become a shit show with the way they've been playing. Lost 5 out of their last 6 games. Can't score. They're a mess. And Oakland, I don't know. Oakland is coming off a season where they were very fortunate to win a lot of close games. And
yeah, their defense still isn't very good. I mean, I know it played well on Sunday, but against the Broncos. The Chargers, meanwhile, they have what amounts to a bye week this week. They're at home against the Browns. So as long as they show up, they're going to win that game. And, they have a chance to gain another game on the Chiefs this weekend. Kansas City's playing awful ball right now. Oakland should win, obviously. So the Chiefs have a lot of pressure on them this week. They really need a win in this game.
Well, they're on the road. They're favored at the Jets, and they're favored by 3. It opened 4.5. Money came in on the Jets. The Jets have been playing tough every week. The problem with the Jets,
they're in there.
The problem with the Jets is they keep beating themselves. I mean, they should have beat Carolina last week. I mean, they did everything but win the game. I mean, but they keep doing that. They did the same thing down in Miami. But everybody thought the Jets were going to go 0-16. They've not been that bad, of course, but
no, not close.
Not anywhere near. Dave, Dave's picks are available at jimfeist.com and vegassportsmasters.com. So are my picks, Hank's picks, other picks. We've got other people up there. But Dave has been red hot. And you don't get on the site now and buy Dave's picks. I mean, the guy was 4-0 last night. Last weekend in football, he was 5-0 in college. If you don't get on there, you don't like money. I'm telling you. Get on there and buy his picks. They're there right now. Go get them. Dave, thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Let's do it again.
Okay, buddy.